Good morning, traders. Jeff coming to you here on Tuesday, October 28th, close to Halloween here. Let's get it going here. All right, another amazing day in the sense of what the market's doing here. Absolutely. And I would say in all the years I've been trading, I don't think I've seen it this level. We've had them, but there's been a much more pullback more recently, and we're not getting them right now. But amazing run here, even in the short term. If you look here in the last few minutes, you can see this move higher. You can't keep doing this. You got to think about that fear and greed, right? And the sense that right now it's just all greed, and there's no fear. But these pullbacks could sold. Think about what would you do if you owned 10 shares, 100 shares, 1,000 shares, or 100,000 shares, 3 or 4 days ago. Do you think that you might be nibbling some profits at the top here? And that's what is expected when you talk about the yin and the yang, the fear and the greed. When it goes so high, that profit taker reels it back in. Not that it's not bullish and won't go higher, but in the short term, it reels it back in because of that greed. People want to take that money. They don't want to have unrealized gain that fail. And so they start taking away. What happens when it has a tipping point and it starts to work over, that tipping point starts to push things back down. And then it's that bandwagon, right? More people start getting off of that bandwagon as it's dropping in here. Pretty soon it starts running down the hill a little bit faster. And that's the concept when you talk about multiple days up, or why you would take 3, 4, 5, 6 days higher and actually continue to buy. Now, someone brand new to the stock market may think a little bit differently. They would see that as, oh, it's great. I've been patient. I've been waiting. Now that it's going higher, I'll go. And that's why you hear a lot of people at the water cooler talk about no matter what they touch in the stock market, it doesn't seem to work out well for them because they're in the concept of patience, waiting, proving the concept, and then moving forward. And in the stock market, it doesn't quite have those same variables, right? It begins to, you got to think about profit taking, and obviously it's either buying or selling, and obviously that would be selling. And so when the selling outweighs the buying, right? So this is what we call novice buying, right? Up in here, when the selling starts to get the upper hand, it becomes this waterfall. And it's hard to catch that because the bulk of the people want to protect as much unrealized gain as they possibly can. And so they start selling in pretty soon. The short-term direction would be to the sell side. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome members. Welcome YouTube. We're going to take a few minutes to go over the gap list. Before I do, we had a nice win on XSP yesterday. I already took the lines off, but finished out here, I don't know, probably about $91 a contract, maybe close to $100 a contract in that. And again, when you're playing these type of strategies that basically you have a concept that you follow, you just have to get in them. You can't pick and choose as much. You just got to let them play out. The key is, though, don't risk a lot, right? Until you prove the concept, build a little bit of bank of money so you have some drawdowns to kind of go with. It almost kind of gives you a little bit like a poker pot, if you will. And so you do that by believing in the concept, tracking the concept, believing the concept, and then paper trading or one contract or 10 shares or something like that if you're trading stock, let it prove itself, build a little bit of a money bank. So when you do give back, and you will, you have a little bit of a pot to kind of start pulling back from. So, by the way, welcome Troy, if you're in here for the short term, you just chat in here, and then we'll move away from YouTube in a few minutes, and then we'll be able to be live here as we open up. Right now, you can see bonds still holding about flat. They did pull back in here. The market has been insane, as I just mentioned here, just straight up, no end in sight, breaking new highs every day. We used to get ready for these new highs, and they would print the hats and then get the party favors and things like that. Not anymore. Market just every single day, at least in the short term, seems to be wanting to break new highs. Um, and again, that won't last. It's doing it now, but it won't last forever. It just won't. The key though is we all know that is that when does that pullback happen? And is it a controllable pullback? Is it a viable pullback? Is it something that's going to stair step down or lower levels back to support areas first before it makes the move? Take a look at Oracle this morning. We're getting a nice little move in ORCL. Charlie, there we go. A little bit slow here. We did show up here to 286. We are in the bull put credit spread on a 2.5 wide there. So very little risk as it is. That certainly shot the stakes up here quite a bit here. We're at 272 being the top strike. Today, let's see where we are in the Bollingers. We were up to the Bollingers. We're above the 80 here between the 8 period moving average and the Bollinger right about the 8 right now. Remember how sticky this 8 can be. See how it's just held this back? It wasn't necessarily an uptrending buy setup, right? It was a downtrending buy setup in the sense that you got to be a lot more with thing. You were below the 8. So the 8 has to be your area. But when you're playing spreads, you can get away with a lot more. You just need them to stay within a pocket or a region. So Oracle so far looks good unless it pulls all the way back. You never know. Case in point, take a look at SMCI. Right shot. This was actually trading right there. It's not a bad take. 53.5. Then right back. Now this is all has to do with the AMD relationship, super microchip, semiconductors, just technology in general. These things are all over the place. And if you think you're going to nail this, somebody will be right, but it's probably going to be dumb luck. It's probably not going to be some that we're going to be able to think through and strategize that. These are just dumb luck plays anymore. News comes out, a tweet, something about a relationship with AI, and they're better or a competitor to NVIDIA, what have you, like AMD's or Qualcomm's message was yesterday, and the market just shot up just a country mile. You can see this is real. This shot right up here at 205.95, back down to about 195, and then closed a little bit lower and now gapping down. It can't sustain these, right? People taking profits in that move. They know it's too much. They know that the valuation doesn't belong here. It's just in the short term, there were more bids than there. So they're capitalizing on profit taking and some selling back in here. It's likely the VIX is going to be gapping down, which is going to put us on the debit side here. You can see, go back to our center range here. You can see, so again, I just track kind of where I'm at. And there's 3 contracts on the debit side of XSP pull out to it. Look at the little downside. We've had this pullback in here for the longest time. We were going, it was just like, set it, go play golf, go to the gym, come back, and you're going to be a winner, right? Then we went through a little bit of a downstroke, right? Some of these no trades should have been trades, and they were actually winners. So that would have helped out a great deal. There's at least 3. And FOMC we don't play. So we probably would have neutralized a lot of this. But so the last, we made half the whole week up just in one day yesterday because we were able to move the credit back up because the debit was so low. Which means that when the VIX is gapping down, or the market's gapping up and the VIX is gapping down, what happens, it tightens the thread a little bit. The probabilities for the plays to go $4, $5, and $6 tighten up because the VIX is lower. Remember, as it goes lower, it doesn't move in it. So they give you a better probability. So what happened? We had a low probability, but it did move late day. And mostly the SPY, you can see this late day little break. Here's a 3-minute chart. I was wondering, like, is this going to be the pullback? It held VWAP all day long. And then right in here, I saw the range of the 3-minute chart down to around 4 or 5 cents. It was very meek. And then right here, even at this level, at 684.30, we closed, we went to the high of 685. That's another $1.30. That's kind of what you might find in a 15 VIX or so, a whole move. And it kind of continued to stretch out here into in a much more upward move here, more than we thought. And that brought us brought us into the credit. How many people were thinking about credit yesterday? And we're sitting here like, we should be on the credit side. And I know that. Remember, when you're dealing with a 0.5 point move in the XSP, and it's trading at around let's call it $700. 7 times 3, 7 times 5 is about a $3 move, right? you're expecting. So if it goes a quarter point at a 150 debit, that's break even. So all we're looking to do from a break even is exceed 1/4 of 1 point in the XSP or the S&P 500, if you want to look at it that way. 1/4 and you're break even. So how many times do we do? And we do the back test on this. That's what you have to look at. How many times when the VIX is gapping up in the market when the VIX is gapping down, the market is gapping up, does the market exceed 1/4 of a percentage point? And you got to look at that. And in our stats, it was around 67% of the time we exceed that. We're on the right side. As long as you're running the VIX right, when the VIX is gapping up, the market's gapping down and vice versa. So based on those stats, not every day you'll go through streaks like we have and we will continue to go through. And you'll take those streaks in a little bit, but eventually it comes back. That's why we have pullbacks and drawdowns into the MAR. So let's take a look at that really quick. We'll move on. You can see even on the debit side, like I was able to move here from 200 from 2 because the profile was, hey, listen, you're at a lower probability, so it's going to let me go up 3 by keeping my risk and keep MAR. But this is in there for a reason. Max drawdown is 5 point. We did more realistic. We doubled that number exactly. That's a realistic drawdown. Now we're not there, right? Our win percentage is 67 point on this, and I just took a arbitrary account size at 5%. You can see that drawdowns do happen and they are real. You just have to stay the course and let it play out. The problem is, and I know this because I think we all do it, including me, is that when the market makes those moves, we want to simply, think that's going to continue. So we adjust things down and then we miss the opportunity side. So then we get all out of whack. Then we're not really kind of following what we originally set out to do. And I would say if you do that, maybe just, if you have to do that, cut your contract size down, but stay in the game. Let it play out for you and unfold. It's proven it works over time, but it's not going to work in a week or 2 or a month. It's going to work over time. Allow yourself to get out of the box, get a few $1,000s or maybe 10, 20, $30,000 ahead, and you've got a lot to work with in here. It's a lot easier to get back when you're sitting on a $20,000, $30,000 gain in a particular concept or strategy than basically just, starting off and you're going down, $5,000 or $10,000. It's a lot more difficult to continue to do. Not that we like to give out money in any way, shape, or form, because we don't. Anyway, a couple gaps in the list here. Let's take a look at Shaw, SHAW. This is looks like an earnings play this morning, gapping up around 5.63%. Nice gap up here. I do have on the list because it's gapping over the 200 in here. It's not so far out of bounds. Does good volume and all. It's just going to be a little spready being a high dollar stock. UNH gapping up here was a lot higher on the initial. It's normal. Little pullback here initially, about $10, but holding the upper channels in here. And watching this because it does have the 390. Actually went right within 2 cents of the 200 moving average. Now that's a fluke, but it went right to it. So I don't want everyone to think I'm going to go through that. If you're going to play it higher, play it up to that point. Carvana gapping up over 3 days up at a red bar, then gapping over, topping down a red bar at the 50 and some clear void to the left. Put it on the list. It's worth a look. CBS was gapping, kind of is, barely, but gapping over the top here. Once again, a little bit of ahead of inventories that come out tomorrow, but gapping some clear base to the left. Put on the list, 1.41%. Adobe is going to be spread to trade. It's got some stuff to the left. It's up quite a bit, but to the left here, but we can watch it and consolidate on the hourly chart in here. Don't have to trade it. We can watch it. WM to the downside, 4.79%. You can see this waste management here. You are coming into pivot support at 200, so be careful about that. 4.79 is in the wheelhouse, and DHI missed, or at least the stock went down. 149.48. You can see we're gapping down. Careful, the 200 coming at 140. You got plenty of room to the downside. Once again, I don't typically take these early, and sometimes they just go straight down and they're off the table, but certainly something to look at here. As far as the earnings plays here, you can see PayPal went up to 82. Now I drew some lines in here in PayPal because you can see the supply. The expected move on PayPal was 75.80. So from 70 to 75.80, whatever percentage that was, I had those this morning. And you can see we were gapping up to 82. We were gapping right to about here. And we're playing that 70 to 80% of the time. Just go to ChatGPT, and it'll tell you this. How many times does the options miss their expected move to come fall short of the expected move? And it's about 70 to 80% of the time. And the CBO will list that too if you go to their site. So 82, we have dropped, right? So the key is that you want to fall, in this case, you want to be underneath this tall side of that 5.5%. You want to be down in here, and it may get there. So you may want to, it's corrected itself quite a bit, but it's not there yet, but it has helped. But got to extend it for myself. UPS the same way. You see UPS, the expected move was 95.46. We gapped up to 110, almost 110, 109 and change. Here's the 200 coming down at it. 110.40, almost exactly, probably within maybe $1. And then moving down a little bit here, also, but that's right now a loser, but these things can continue to fall. And finally, a couple more. W was starting out here okay. It got a little bit more aggressive as time went on, but we want this to fall in. There's the line over here in the 3-minute chart. It's a little bit above. So these things can pull in or not. There's a better chance from the pull in, I think, and make money than to really lose a lot more going out. UNH also was one that we didn't do. There was the expected move at 86. And although we were there, we pulled in here. This actually would have been a nice winner right out of the box in here. We just didn't do it. And then finally, Corning or GLW. This is probably going to be the winner. The IV crush hasn't hit these in pre-market yet, but you can see falling above this, which is good. Like, this is the downside expected move here. Right now we're holding. We were actually just a few minutes ago down below that. Look how quick this Corning's moving, 80 to 85. It only runs $2. It's running a lot here. So this could go either way here. We'll have to see. So two things real quick. Numero uno is, do we wait for, I have three things set up on this. You can take these at 9:45. You can take them at 11. The concept was based on, and the bad number was based on taking them at 9:45. Lately, we've seen these extensions pay out a lot more. Now, you could lose a little bit more. I think you won't lose a ton more, but you can do some more. You can take them at 11 and you can take them at 2. So today I'm going to track these, and I'm probably going to go to the 11 marker. You can see right in here under earnings plays. I'm tracking at 9:45. I made the 11 o'clock kind of the primary. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to track where we could probably get out here. And if you can see these better than I can, watch where we actually get out at 9:45. Guys, let me end the YouTube here. If you're on YouTube here, thanks for joining us in here. Come join us at Full Throttle Traders. We'll get live on here. We got a lot going on this morning with our earnings plays. We're in about 4 of these, and also some great gains in the overall markets in here with the gap up here. So in our gap list we just went over. So thanks for joining us again here in a few days, and we'll take it to the next level. See you guys in a bit. Hold on, members, and we'll exit the YouTube side here before we open.
Hey, Jeff, this is Bill. I got a thought for today. Jeff?
He probably can't hear you yet, Bill. He's reconfiguring his settings.
Well, I'll give it to you anyway, even though he might not be able to hear. I thought that today's the day before the Fed meets, and I'm thinking that regardless of what the VIX does, it's going to be a very low volatility day. So it might be better to do a credit spread today, even if it indicates debit, but don't know. Just a thought.
And typically, I think I would totally agree with you. The only reason I'm kind of hesitant is because of the high percentage
Of
that they already
earnings.
have calculated into the market of a 0.25% cut.
Ah, Okay.
I mean, months ago when we were like at a 60-40 percentage, are they going to, are they not? There's a lot of mystery around that. So the market didn't move. I think this market has that 1/4% drop.
It'll be interesting to see. It's
Oh, it will.
and it might be something to bear in mind for future days
Sure.
prior to a Fed day.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
but your
Uh,
movement's not going to be much. But
Months ago, I would totally agree with you. I'm a little hesitant right now
yeah, no, I
just because
understand.
they have such a high percentage, already baked in.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the Qs already. Good grief. I mean, SPYs is sitting pretty flat, but Qs are off to the races.
yeah. Spies are up. They gapped up. That's for darn sure.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and Vips gapped down. So it's contrary to
I'm
what
back here.
we would typically
Just to let you
do.
know, I have the volume down, so I have to turn it back up. So hold on.
Jeff,
Volume is back up. Not sure I actually exited that, but we're trying. Let's take a look at where we are. PayPal, as it continued to fall here, look at PayPal. This was up at 82, mind you. Right now, this is the strike we're below, right? It could turn higher. See, PayPal is the only green one in there, right? UNH we didn't do, would have been a nice winner here. UPS, once again, this is the strike we want to get under this expected move area, which it may. Corning, these are all getting spanked on the IV. Now it's above there. Remember, that's the green one here. It's kind of straddling because it's just spreading. It's opening up here back and forth and spreads real wide. So you know where it's flashing green. And then W, Wayfair, 17. Look at that move. 17, it's the expected move. This is a loser, right? But we've almost watched these two. So yeah, I'm gonna hold back on these for a while. At 9:45, if you remind me, I'm gonna come in here and actually make a snapshot of where the premium is at that point so we can kind of keep a nice little forward tracking on. You just go up. Wow, even this here had come back quite a bit. Wow, this thing was at 90, it's at 71 UNH, right? That would have been quite nice. Midpoint 633 on that. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Can you hear us, Jeff?
Now I can, yeah.
Uh,
When I start out on YouTube, I have to lower that. So right when I'm done, I turn the volume back up.
when you went off the air, I was going to say the same thing. And so Troy and I had a little discussion about this. And since today is the day before the Fed, typically today things don't move much. And so even though VIX is down today, which would indicate we do a debit spread, I was thinking that, contrarily, that maybe the credit spread based on not much movement because the day before the Fed might be a better play. Now, Troy feels the opposite because of, the rate change that everybody's expecting is going to be a positive. So I don't know, just a thought. The day
So,
before
and
Fed,
yesterday, I had the same feeling all day, like this thing isn't going to break out, it's going to pull back. And we just never know, right? The thing went straight
yeah,
up another.
I know.
I mean,
It's just kind of a contrary thought process that you might go through, given the fact that tomorrow we have a significant event. But just a thought. And I'm losing more than I'm winning, so I'm probably not the person you should pay attention to anyway.
No, I understand. That's the concept is it's easy to make these and they're definitely rational. It's just that I'm trying to follow the system. So definitely try to, do what you're comfortable with and let's see if it pans out because I wasn't expected yesterday to run at this level again another day. And then most of this bar that opened up, and what you want to see is wide bodies on debits, right? We may see a little bit of peak. We also could see a big sell-off bar that comes through this. I can see this as a people getting out of the market, possibly, Bill, prior to the Fed meeting, because they were going to take profits prior to the Fed. So for that reason, I could make a case the other side of that and say we could go do the opposite and actually run because of that, because
Yeah,
of the
that's a good point. That's a very valid point.
So at the end of the day, I really don't know. We just take it as it comes here and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, I'll probably play it straight, but it was just a thought I had, and may or may not be valid. Who knows? We'll know at the end of the day, right?
I guarantee you, we'll know at the end of the day. And if we don't, we got bigger problems.
And I'm
Uh,
happy because finally I had a debit spread that paid off yesterday. So
I know, and then nice, and I
It
was able to move my contracts up to boot, so it helped out.
an
more
hour to
ex-
go. It didn't look too healthy.
No,
You know,
it just
I, I,
it just
I
charged
almost
right up.
I almost doubled up when it hit 130. I'll tell you, I was so tempted to. And what's her name? Oh, the lady that's on
Michelle,
here, Michelle. Yeah, she got in at 127, which was
right?
a hell of a deal.
Look at this. This was at 390 this morning. It did pre-market and then the opening gap here. 366, 76, 80. $25 move lower in this particular strategy here. That would have been a nice payer. Just in probably 20 minutes, 25, maybe 30 minutes. Crazy how these stocks are moving, man. Just amazing. Don't
It really is.
think I've ever seen this before, but maybe I have. PayPal coming back up here, still got above the string there. Everything's getting hit. We're probably not too far off these plays. Let's see. PayPal coming
Well, the
up.
first 5 minute bar closed at what I got, 689. A little bit more than that. Yeah, right around 689.
Where's XSP today? Where's the VIX here at gapping up? I'm assuming
No, it
this.
gapped down slightly.
Oh, this is the one. Okay, gap down.
Gap down and opened in the 15s, 15 and a half, but we're kind of running up towards the high, like 1590 now. 1580.
Yeah, I got 689.03 for the 5 minute close.
On my chart, I've got it right at yesterday's close right now. We came down and bounced off yesterday's low, and now we're back up at yesterday's close on the VIX.
Yeah, pretty much same. I agree. But I've got the 5 minute XSP at 689.77. It looks like 690. What do you have, Troy?
689.03.
83?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So
high
it'd
of the
be-
bar was 689.77.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've got, 689.77. Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we opened and came straight down on the.
Yeah, I read the thing at 689.03. Yeah. So it'd be 689 probably. I'm all a Twitter because I finally won one. Can't even read what the bars say.
Same with Oracle. This one's popping up here. All these, I mean, all of them is, I mean, most of them have dropped. PayPal did then move back, starting to move a little higher, but man, these things, you can't trust anything, Gap or otherwise. We were nice up on Oracle. Now we're still good, but let's check this where we are.
That thing just took a steady stair step down. Wow.
So where was the 5 minute close of the bar here?
689.03. Yeah,
689. Okay.
And on the 5 minute, we've just started our third red bar on the 5 minute. So it's.
And that's what you count on these to revert back, just reversing to the mean a little bit in the short term, short iron condor. That can't be right. Oh, one. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it shouldn't be in November's contract, so.
Yeah, I got about a buck 69 right now for the mid.
Yeah, you're gonna see these stay low as the VIX goes lower. Like I said a minute ago, because what happens, that 0.5% becomes the range of the market gets a little bit more stymied. And so they're gonna pay you more if it does go, lose less if it doesn't. So 688, so you're buying 3 here. 90, 91, 88, 76, 85. Okay, so about mid 170s here.
We do have a little bit of news coming out at 10. The Richmond Fed's gonna put some news out. CB, consumer confidence, whatever that is, comes out at 10. So
Okay. Let's take a look here. Well, look at that UNH bar on the 15-minute. You just don't know. Talking about color be gone. Wow. And then PayPal did that, now it's climbing back. Oracle fine. UPS still above. UNW still above. That's dropped. Corny should be good. I'm in at 135. Corny is not a lot here. It's showing, you know, at the end of the day, it's up 10% at the midpoint. So that's what got to keep my eye on. You make these in multiple contracts. Again, these are only on ones, but
Well, I'd be pretty happy if we could get in at what we got in at yesterday at a buck 55.
how do you have a 10% drop in like 20 minutes on such a stock like this? I'm just, and how can you be that wrong? That's the stuff that boggles my mind. How can you price things and be that wrong? All right,
in
so
the
excess.
pre-market move up. Oh yeah, I mean UNH, unbelievable. I mean, it's gone from straight up pre-market to below yesterday's numbers
I don't
in
even
15
know
minutes.
trading that Thursday, but it's got to be up a couple of bucks now. Okay, so XSP, the center strike shows 688. Or do I have that right? Was it
I had
689 or 689?
No,
5 minute.
689.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Jeff, it was 689 at 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm redoing. Yeah, you're at 166.
Yeah, roughly.
Let me pull these off so I don't get them all mixed up. Trading pretty close.
Yeah, the market seems to be stabilizing here the last couple of minutes.
Now, if we do revert back, like we do start to move back up in the XSP here, or move back up, and it's gonna better our price. So I'm gonna put 155 down because you're worse at center. Now for me, it tells me to do 3 contracts still. Okay. Hello. Let's see here. Well, must have not copied them there. I don't know why my computer's not copying the way it used to. Should do it.
This is like the military, hurry up and wait.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm bidding, at least for now, 1.55 subject to change, but again, my theory is now it could keep falling, is that if we do at least make an attempt to go higher after this many bars down, that will increase our price. As we get past the quarter mark here, it's 945. As a matter of fact, what are the 945 prices? It's hard to tell. It really is. They're all over the place. I'm gonna have to take 180 on W down 53. That's got to be around 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. So I'm gonna say 130. GLW is up 20, 35, 155, we'll call that.
You want me to call up the midpoints to you?
Well, I can see them, but look at W midpoint. There's no rhyme or reason. So there's 45 cents, right?
Yeah, because the bid's in the negative.
Yeah, so it's adjusting things weird.
Yeah.
Just put it on line. So I'm looking at the money and then I'm subtracting the money
Gotcha.
from the thing. So UPS 73.60, 50, 43, 33, 45, 36, 37. PayPal would be $5. Let's call 92. Let's call 97. All right, I'm going to start there. This is a 945 look. Market was at still 162 points up and down while this move. So we were at 687. Now we've dropped about $2. That's a heck of a range, right? It went right back down to gap fill.
Yep.
SPY.
Exactly where we are.
Any type of a move higher is going to bring in the spread. So I think 155 is, now if it keeps going, we'll never get it, but I expect some sort of small reversion. UNH trying to come back, but that's a hill to climb. Falling some. Their energy. Now right to gap. Wow, that's a big move. What we want to do is have, in a perfect world, let the market bounce, come closer to the center, get you in, and then do a sell setup and keep going lower, right?
We're talking real life. Are you talking real life here?
Yeah, that'd be idea. I'm just saying that's the ideal situation. So the
That would be
center
nice.
is 689. No, I said what would be ideal, Bill, is to take this, move back up. You get filled, right? As on a debit, the closer you get to center, then sell set up and keep going lower, and that will bring our spread in over 3. But that's all speculation right now.
I said I would like that. That would be very, very nice if it did that.
I'll take that.
It would be cooperating with us for a change.
Hey, JC. Man, too bad you weren't here earlier, JC. We all made like $60,000 on this one play. Just kidding. Right now, just sit there and observe this market gap up that just reverts. I mean, all this is just like it's hype. It's all like, conversation is not valuation. Conversations moving the market. Or I should say speculation. All right, so I'm going to wait till 11 o'clock. I'm going to take these off. I'm in 4 of these contracts. 4 of the the plays, but singular right now, still testing phase on this. And once again, if you look at this PayPal, now it's going higher, but see this, you want them below that. These are the expected moves where the line is. UPS coming in a little bit here. Right, so you want them, and they're blowing them out. Look at these blowouts. UNH was great. You'd made a few $100, a couple $100 there if you'd done. GLW, great. This is the downside line. So GLW is showing 10% up right now, right? So you don't want these to exceed the downside. Again, so if you had in a perfect situation on GLW, you would have about 6 contracts and you'd be up about $70, and you just take them, right? So you take them quickly like that. And we may end up doing that, but I'm just tracking for a little bit, roughly where we are at 9:45 and where we are at 11. I may not even take the time to, so before I get off the mic, right before I do, we'll take these off and see how they do. Some are going to be worse. Some might be better, but lately I'm just eyeballing them. They have been better, but that may not continue. Oracle gave it all back, right? Had a little bit of a pre-market move higher right back here. We're still good. We're in at 48. We're still 58. Notice the difference in there. We're 3 days out from expiration on the 270, 250 strikes, and it's still holding about 9 cents under, but it's still fine. All right, little bounce in XSP here. Remember, be careful about getting into plays for tomorrow. I don't think I will. Options blow up like a porcupine, a blowfish, maybe is a better analogy when it comes to news. Now, although everything's, it's not that they don't expect it, it's that it can change. And so even that, they keep things kind of way out here priced, so you won't have the burn. That's why you're not seeing Oracle burn. I want to try to take, well, we're going to come out of Oracle tomorrow, right? One way or the other before 2 o'clock. And UNH going right back. These are just amazing moves. Even on this, 1 minute I'm up 900, the next minute I'm up 500 in this FEMA thing. All right. So again, just was a lot going on there, so I've been focused on these day trade stocks here, probably for good reason. Most of these are the gaps we have. UNH, Carvana gapping up here, nothing to do with that. CVS, and these were the best of the best pulling in as the market is. Adobe holding VWAP here, holding pretty good. Earnings not to the 10th, got some supplies a little further out, gapping over the 60-minute pullback consolidation, almost like a retest and failure, but it is holding even the 65-minute on here. It's coming off of a base jump. The problem is it's 472,000 shares and it's making it awful spready here. It closed to 30 cents, but I don't see it right here right now. You can see, interestingly enough, look at the 5-minute picture, look at the 3-minute picture, then look at the 5-minute picture. Struggling to VWAP. Here it looks like it's over. But ultimately, when you look at the 5-minute bars, it's struggling there. Actually, let me do one thing here. I did not adjust anchor. Let me adjust anchor really quick. To right here. Oops.
The VIX is screaming higher. We're over 16.
Oh, yeah. And that's just because the market just dropped from 687.5 to 685. It doesn't seem like $2.50 is, a 5-minute bar when the VIX is 25, but it's a whole day's range when it's not.
Well, now we're outside of yesterday's high, so the VIX is already started at the low and is over the high for yesterday. So we're outside there. Good grief. Look at this
Low
bar
of 50.
coming in on the SPY. Good grief.
Whoa, what happened there?
I don't know.
No, here it is 4 minutes before. This is what I'm saying. These moves are coming out of nowhere.
They are. It's crazy.
Jordan,
You would think it
we're
was 2 o'clock. You would think it was 2 o'clock on FOMC day itself with these
I know.
moves.
I've never seen anything like this. I really haven't. This is such a wild animal anymore. Your losers might be winners and your winners might be losers. Just
I'm
give
putting
them
my
all.
bid at 150 on the XSP. Because we get back up towards center, we've got some decay on this too. So
Yeah, I might join you here. I'm gonna not be so. I'm gonna change that, Bill. JC, I'm doing what Troy's doing. I'm backing up to 150. Bid at XSP now. Going up is only gonna help. Once you get past 10, you got another theta dump coming in. Yes, the Sherwin-Williams is trading clean here, but it's a spreading animal here. Got volume. UNH too far down. Carvana just dumped. CVS, I'm just gonna take them off. The CVS dumped. Adobe is the one we're watching. It's holding okay. It's stuck a little bit at the 90 and the 5. It held pretty good with the market drawdown. Look at the market right back down off that little power bar. That bar, and this happened all in about, let's say, a second. The market moved to $1.20. Bam, just like that. WM climbing off the abyss. EHI gap down, that's bullying. Sherwin-Williams kind of stuck here. VWAP could go though. Carvana too far down there. You want to play it back to VWAP. Adobe might go here, but it's stretchy. Like 2,000 shares in the last 2 minutes come in, so that's a lot. That's going to keep this thing a little fierce. PayPal working its way back up the channel. Well, we were green in half these, almost break even. Now, when these market went back up, like PayPal in here, this is a blowout on W. With the one we didn't get in, works. What a concept. Corny is, about break even here, $6. Be careful also of any credit spreads today in general. I just think you're not going to see them take direction as far as a burn goes with this FOMC and everything going on in the market right now. I don't think they're going to burn as quickly as they once were. See where XSP is. So the center's right here, 689. We're at 687, 90 roughly. So one more move higher should bring us in quite a bit here. I mean, we're sort of, I'm not going to say chasing it, but it's a rare move this far down without getting a bounce. So we're getting that bounce. That should bring us in. Not sure I can do anything with you. I mean, only 513. Adobe does look higher. The spread's tightened up here, but it's only about 13,000 shares in about 5 minutes. For a $300 stock, it can change direction on you in a hurry, and the spread can open up as it just did. It's risky. looks the best of them, but risky. All these bounces, there's nothing to do with them. These are more just watching. Remember, we've just been watching the Pfizer at the 200 here. Was never intended to be a play. Bounce off the 100. It didn't go far. What's that? 50 cents. Coca-Cola. Little high level buy set up after the gap. It's up right now because it's usually consumer defense, right? So when the market goes down, Pepsi's normally, Coca-Cola, Campbell Soup, they all move higher. All right, guys, I'm just content sitting here. And let's take a little scan over here, a little volume scan. Got to look both ways today. This is the market. Video looks higher, right? I didn't see, I mean, up 4 solid days. Right there, that supply bar at the top, and of course the open. And then you got VWAP. So would never do that into that area, but interesting. PayPal continued that climb. It was at 82 this morning. Tesla trying to break free. It's got a big supply bar at 470. It's a little ways up there. INTC trying. There's the UPS coming back in here. 73, showing 15 bucks down. So 73. IB still hitting some of these. See how they shake out by 11. Microsoft. I mean, I could see just a lot of hangmen up here. The market just hangs them out. You almost don't want to go with the gap. You almost want to fade the gap. Corning. Still a decent gap though, but it's above the expected move. These are just volume scans, just looking at the daily chart. Should we look at the 3-minute chart? Look at Adobe. People got sucked in this little bar up in here. Never broke the 5-minute, but it did break 3. Then went back down again. Market making a move higher. That's good for us.
And Corning to make it bounce back up. Look at AMD. AMD is the new NVIDIA.
Yeah, right out of the box here, $3. Zing. Carvana coming back to open line here, no trust. Sherwin-Williams stuff, DHI. These are gaps at bullish, nothing to do with these bully gaps. Adobe's just dancing in the center. SMCI back up to this pre-market, near this pre-market highs. And we talked about NVIDIA and NVIDIA's as well. Just keeps, we kind of closed above the flat 50 there. Right to the top, hold back in. Okay, I'm seeing 63. Spreads tighten up on XSP. As long as we keep moving this direction, we'll get our 50. Shouldn't be any problem. We're within, 80 cents, 90 cents of the center. These are not, I haven't done these, we're not even fix these green lines yet, but. So gap list is what we call the crap list, right? Nothing there. It just all comes down to scanning stock. That's what's been lately. Once in a while you find something. Let's see what's holding up here. S weeks, 14% up. And the ones that are green, the 200, and they went up too high. They've exceeded ADR. INTC also moving on the AMD. These are just green stocks, green percentage gainers. See if there's any catalyst in here. Netflix coming off the bottom back to 200 in here. Let's see chunk down 1250 to 1088 for Netflix. This is a work. We'll look at the choppiness in most of these stocks. FedEx is up on UPS earnings. AVO, GO looks like it's going to break higher. How do you play a break? What am I doing? Even breakout, but it's up 5 days. Look at Hood. Man. 3 million shares. This thing is like a defibrillator. It's got AFib. Look at coin, same all these stocks, they're all grotesque. Coke is still going higher. High level buy set up here in the markets. Lower, it goes higher. Good week to take off, I'll tell you. All this radical move into news from C.
Nice move on INTC.
Yeah, I saw it up here. So look at that.
Yes, sir. I just
5,
rolled
6, 7 bars straight
rolled
up
INTC.
and hit the move. Measured move. Look at Doge. Look at that. Yanking people's chain right there. So you guys see anything worthy that's not extended, that has some void? Do you have anything like that that you're seeing as you're fishing around here? And I'm not crazy about day trading right now anyway, but that's the only we can really do. Try to take a hit at something.
Well, that thing's just hanging on 688, just hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
Need to bounce up.
Anybody up for a game of Hangman on this S
Mhm.
week?
So Troy, how's Clemson doing this year?
What's that, Bill?
I was saying to Troy, how is Clemson doing this year?
Not up to expectations
And
considering
Dabo is
past
safe.
years.
Dabo is safe, right?
They say he's safe, but that's what they say. He's won 2 championships. He's won what 11, 12 ACC championships. He's, I think, the winningest coach ever in their history. So I think he's allowed a year or two. He's just struggling with this portal thing. There
Everybody
are
is.
there
If
are 4 teams that do not participate in the portal as far as bringing people in. He has people leave through the portal, but there's only 4 teams that don't participate in the in the portal.
Who are they?
Army, Navy, Air Force, for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
and Clemson.
Well, I think all of this stuff about paying the players has ruined the sport, or it's going to, at any rate. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And my school is one of the absolute poorest. So,
Mm. Yeah, no,
but
I
yeah,
don't. That name and image recognition thing, whatever. I don't think it's going to help the sport.
no. Well, my brother-in-law, my wife's brother, coached for 40 years and started in high school, went to Division One NCAA, and then for the last 20 or 25 years, coached in the NFL. And we were having this discussion. He basically feels the same as I do. He says that this NIL payment is just going to wreck things. I think it's going to cause a lot of dissension eventually on teams because the disparity of what a quarterback makes versus an offensive guard.
Mm.
This it's just got to tear teams apart eventually. So, and I just think it's what it did is it allowed people that used to be accused of cheating to cheat now and do it legally. That's my feeling on it. But nevertheless, people don't stop watching it, that's for sure.
Well, they've allowed the money to come into it, right? That before they did a good job of keeping the money out of it, so it was purely Barrett-based sports. The good players got opportunities, and not so good players. Um, they might get some good scholarships out of it, but you didn't have a path to the NFL. So be it. Now it's just, turning everything into money, and players are making jumps to see if I can get a starting position somewhere else and better my odds. And yeah, the whole team thing has gone out the window.
I think so. I just,
This Oracle might drop RCL rather right here. I'm not gonna play its $2 stop. I don't do breakdowns, but you can see a little right here in a 3-minute chart below VWAP struggling at it. If you're a breakdown player, take a shot for a scalp.
I'm wondering how long, if we stay at 688, will it take for Decay to drive this premium into our lap? This thing is just like, it's just like hair on a biscuit, as some people say.
Just trying to hire paper.
Well, I mean, this is where it goes back to what Bill, you were saying early on. This might be our center point for the day. We had that wild, crazy morning,
Yeah,
and now we might be settled in, and now we might not move.
no, it's the day is 6 hours or 6.5, whatever it is. And it's one of those things you just never know. It was just a thought, it might have made sense and it might not have. It's kind of like that day when we had the mismatch in opportunity where you would lose $250 or 260 to make 40, just a
Mhm.
weird thing. If it's the other way around, if you're risking 40 to make 260, I'd probably take that bet almost every day.
Right.
Well, you get to blame me for that one, but if we don't get our premium, we get to blame you today, Troy.
We'll
Look
have to
at
give
the
them 106 cents a check.
I can't believe this thing is outside of the cup 2 or 3 engulfing bars back around 956 or
It's
7.
coming down. Bids at
It's getting there.
153.
Yeah,
Bids at
it is coming
153.
down. It is. And that's
Well,
why I said I wonder how long it has to stay at this level before Decay will push us right into the premium. Is it an hour? Is it half hour? If it just stays here, what happens?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that theta calculation on the burn. I don't know.
It,
Jeff probably does, but
the equation is so nonlinear. It's just, and there's so many variables. It's
yeah.
just hard to, you can't isolate one factor. I guess it's like a balloon. If you squeeze one part, another part pops out.
This little Sherwood way of sitting here, you're sandwiched between the 9 and the VWAP. Not that I played this breakdown. Look at it. That one bar is about $8, and most of them are happen the first minute. And when the things move radically fast these days. And then reverse. It just
Yep.
That chart is blasphemous.
just don't understand these stocks, man. This is what happens when you get up here. It's almost like, scuba divers that come up too fast, they get the bends. These markets has got the bends. There's the
I
break.
don't know. It could be a real nice bear flag too. The ES, if you watch the ES, the futures, it looks like a bear flag right up into the close from yesterday, and now it's going to reject it.
GLW holding nice. This little move back higher will help. I'm surprised that's not better. It's flat. They just haven't moved the premium on this yet. Again, that's why I'm watching this 945. Really the concept behind that is that because these are more about get in, get out, go on like the SPX, get in, let it play out, get in, get out on the earnings. But I'm just looking at a couple of different aspects this is only back tested from getting it on at 945. You got to play them in volume, but you can see all four of these where are blowing out. Well, most of these, except for that. PayPal is blowing higher. UPS was blowing higher. It's down still a little bit. It's right at the number. It's got to fall down better than that. We need them to miss a little bit more. W is up. UNH is the only one that's good. That's one we haven't played. And then GLW. I'm a little surprised in GLW. It's flat, and we're above quite a bit. I'm a little surprised that this hasn't made and again, maybe this is because of FOMC tomorrow. I really don't know.
Well, earlier when we got those couple of green bars off the open, it was showing like $30-$40 to get to the plus side. But that might have just been a midpoint. Doesn't mean you're going to get filled there.
No,
Might have been the width of the spreads.
it's also based on where it's hitting, where it's pulling up.
Yeah.
Is a bid pulling the mid, pulling the ass. The last one, that's why it fluctuates a lot.
But we're in a buy setup, so we can get a little juice off of this. We might get back up. We can get up around 87. I'll probably take it off because I don't think we're going to break 87 today.
Look at W. It's up 20%. 20%.
Mm.
All these, other than that, where most of these options have missed, UNH is about the perfect one at 0.36. Do you remember what that UNH was yesterday? It was around 450.
Yep. It was between the spread. It was $1 spread. It was like 450 to $4 to $5, something like that.
So say 450. It's at 7 right now. If you got the bid guaranteed exit, you'd have been up $205.
Wow.
That's, and it goes figure. There's 5 trades. We did 4. Well, the one that we didn't do, as the mark would have
That's
it,
the one. Yep.
is paying.
Wow.
It's pain, and you could have done one or two of those, and that would have made up more than the whole difference in there. But again, we're getting blowouts. We don't normally have this. Again, that's just now. All this is going to change, but you got to play them in bulk. Let the price jump around and let the numbers play out. Oracle's still doing nice. We're down here close to break even, at least on the money. Going higher might help. Again, I like to point this out because we talk about it. Sometimes we don't go back. Is that just keep that 8 period. This is the dotted white line. It's crossing above the midpoint of the Bollinger or the 20 SMA and then down through it. But at the end of the day, there's enough people that play off that 8 where, unless it's just a Goldman pushing it through, which can happen, you have to expect them to stall in that area. Not exactly at that area. Yesterday, with the high was 287, the 8 was at 283, at $3 higher, and it opened below with there. So it's not a perfect thing, but it's maybe at a place that you get there, you start trailing a 15 or something. I'm not even sure that would, because this actually, no, I'm sorry. It opened above and failed, didn't open below. That's why. Opened above and failed, opened above and failed, opens below and I run higher. I want to be trailing that 15-minute chart because there's a good chance it's not going to last up there. I'm going to say the lion's share of those won't stick. My guess, and it's just a guess. Sherwin Williams, look at this thing just dropped out of nowhere. Adobe never got going. Carvana exit down to the VWAP and back higher. And then of course these were bearish gaps that bullied here. I'm just looking around here. I just see messy stuff.
The
Even
average 1
AG.
minute, the
Hmm.
average 1 minute rate of change on the XSP is 20 cents.
I saw 4 cents, maybe a nickel yesterday in the spot. Okay, we're in, right?
Yeah, I got filled.
Yeah,
Woo.
same here.
All right.
Well, I
I
don't
got
have
it.
to pick after all. Yeah, see
I
what
got it.
happened when it did? Look at the XSP, right? We had the little green bar. It's all we needed. So this is like, we felt pretty good about this because we figured that was going to have a reversion, at least to some degree, at least a 38 fib. And that's what got us in. But we don't normally have this. When you have back and forth, that's when you don't really know what's going to go on. When you have a big pullback, the gap fill like that, you can pretty much count on a move higher, at least in the short term. I'll follow through, but
I got a 75% target at $2.63.
all right, let's adjust the numbers there. So we're at 689 and we're in at 150. I'm calling it 152. It's pretty easy. So we 666. Let's say 689.
Oracle's on the move.
What's on the move?
Oracle.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we got green showing up on the credit spread there. Yay. Something going. All right, there's the top. Here's the bottom. $689, $690. So $689. It's going to be $687.48. This is counting commissions, a couple bucks. So anywhere in here, we're obviously read through that line is break even, through this line is break even. And I think Troy, if I remember correctly, yesterday you said you took profits, which are probably not a bad thing yesterday at the 75%. And that's fine. What we've been doing here is doing go break even at that level. But a day like yesterday, it's probably better to take the profits. What'd you say that number was, Bill?
I had $2.63 for 75%. And that's pre-commissions.
Okay, I'll just put some updates on that.
Which would give you a gain of 113 bucks per contract.
I'll take that.
Yeah, close to yesterday, really. You know, it's
Big
interesting.
hill to climb if we go up. We need the market to go down.
One thing I
Right.
noticed about yesterday is I hit my 75% target 4 minutes before market close.
Is that right?
4 minutes.
Yeah, when after crazies when things were bouncing around.
Yeah,
This is a bearish retracement in here. We are above the 9 EMA on the 5. I have to look at the SPY because it shows see how it looks at XSP. You're always tracking because of the index, the VWAP. So you have to look at the SPY to get a better picture. This is a bearish retracement in some respect. And again, we're hanging it up there. I wouldn't be surprised to go down to and through gap fill if it goes down. You know, anchor is a good place to land, be a little more of a measured move. But it's a big hill to climb if we go higher. We had to go higher to get filled, but now we're looking for lower prices, ideally. PayPal getting back up there to those pre-market areas. Still high on W, UNH, center. No movement yet on GLW. Don't have a day trade, guys. I just don't have it. Have the RCL actually play out.
Oh,
Down a little bit, but a dollar. Actually,
I
no.
just screwed up. I just screwed up my order for 75% profit. I put the wrong number in, so I just sold at a loss. Shit. I think I lost.
Well, fish for 140 now, maybe be better.
I lost $1.
I think you can live with that.
Oh, stupid. Fingers precede brain. Got it at
Well,
150 and bought it
down, now it's bouncing.
and sold it back at 149. Yeah. Oh well.
I can sleep on a dollar loss.
Yeah, the $1 loss. How did I do that? How do you do stuff like that?
You know, sometimes you have to rethink, because sometimes I'll actually think I'm hitting stop and I forgot to put the hit limit and it sells it right away.
Yeah, I selected a closing trade order and it automatically goes to the current price. And I never entered 273 or 263. So it just sold it, at market.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I do that from time to time. Believe me, it's not uncommon. I forget to put the stop in there and it's selling at the limit wherever it's at. I just have to go left to right. Okay, I'm selling quantity. What's my, is it the
Selling.
limit? Is it the stop?
Unfortunately, I'm still in the trade in another account and I did get that one right. So
INTC still going. You guys have got in that. It's just straight up. SMCI doing pretty well to boot. NVIDIA doing well. Dow still up 244. I mean, they have to go to the printers every day and print new hats because every day we're breaking new highs.
well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave the group for a while. So if I get back before you're off the air, get back. If I don't, good luck.
We're
on
to
the
at least
day.
about 11. I'm going to unload these options plays here. And we'll wait till then. These 11 will break. Oops. Yeah, Oracle do nice. Remember, 90% of the time the stocks stay within a range and a choppy range at that. Right? 90% of the time they stay outside, they're inside of a trend, but they stay in a choppy mode, like we need direction. And that's been the case. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they gap up and then they fade. A lot of hangmen today. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna day trade anything here. I can't find anything. The RCO went a couple bucks, but I didn't. It's lucky, I think. Something. Yeah. Okay, so remember, I'm not gonna call any option plays till we get past FOMC. As far as spreads or directional plays, because we're asking for it if we do. If you do, though, you can always go short dated and take the scalp. That's not a problem. So maybe we could do something like that. So I'll look for that today. But outside of that, I'm not gonna push that envelope. Because you're seeing what's happening there. The market's just cray. XSP still pushing higher. It's gonna bring in the price a little bit. The big stabilized up here at 16 and change. 7:30 or 10:30, so we're getting a pullback right here on the SPY at 10:30 at VWAP at 38% retracement. I don't usually draw fibs in this, but let's just take a look. Actually about 50%, but that's closer to around 40. Again, I'm gonna look today for an option place, maybe going out 7 to 10 days and then just scalp something here directionally. That's about all I'm gonna do here. You know, a couple of things that screwed us up, you know, the shutdown haven't given us the reporting that we usually need. And then of course FOMC, we had CPI numbers come out, they were actually something that came out during this shutdown, but the rest of it's just kind of holding back, more speculative. I don't think there are really any traders, big traders they're not trading off that. Obviously, they're just the market's just straight up here, they're going with it. They expect the rates to cut tomorrow, and they likely will. I don't even know where that number is at. It's got to be up here again. Let's take a quick peek. That would be Fed Watch, 1 day, OMC. About the same. Now it's 3.3. Yesterday, it moved from 2.7 from a 1 day out of thinking they're going to cut it 2 basis points, but sorry, from leaving it current, rather. It increased a little bit, but nothing really to speak of. Yeah, that's where we are. Right now, we're at remember, anything can surprise, so. Those Oracle back up to those pre-market highs, still stuck in that little range. You can see the hourly chart down here, pretty adjusted, but good for our spread, right? Get a nice move on Oracle. We can just take it off today and be done with it, so we don't have to come out with some gap tomorrow. Well, Tesla had a nice little scoot here. Pseudo 3-bar play here worked out yesterday. It was questionable because the move in was about 50% of the bar. Why is that important? Because you don't want to show your hand that if you go down this far, they're letting it go down into that bar. That doesn't bring confidence to higher price. Now it worked out, it's still pseudo worked out. You don't want to see more than about 30%. Ideally, the 8 would have been a perfect drawdown. That would have been a much better 3-bar play. But when you start drawing in deeper into this wide bar, I'm going to say that's probably 55%. The traders don't let it get down that far. They'll hold it, they'll bid it up. And if they let it get down that far, you have to wonder, is there something else going on here? But it worked out anyway. Okay, we just backlashed in the market here, went down, went up, still straight inside of VWAP here, bearish retracement, still above the 90 EMA on the 5, on the 3. Let's see energy prices going down. Let's check XLE. No, UPS could fall here, didn't get up with the market. That would be helpful. GLW not going anywhere. And also remember, as per the rules, we don't play FOMC ever on XSP. So tomorrow there will be no XSP play. When we tested that without them, it was fine. When you tested it with it, it brought down the numbers. Not a lot, but just because it's only 1 day a month, it's 6 weeks. But if you took it out, you improved it. That day is not a good day. We actually tracked it here a few months ago. We saw it, we tracked it. Premium was just sitting there like a big old blowfish, wouldn't do anything.
Well, that's what I've noticed is decay. It doesn't happen. I mean, you sit there and hold even a credit spread, and it just won't burn.
And that's, normal. We expect that. So, and even going into this close, right, we're getting there. Even a credit probably wouldn't burn today as much in XSP. We did push through the VWAP here. So continue or not. So kind of a really nothing couple of weeks here in a sense. Had some plays, but nothing that we've really been able to get behind and count on. Market's been just too far up. I mean, you look at the last, well, since here, I guess. Well, actually, since here. So since the 10th of this month, the market's been nuts, right? It's been volatile, creeping higher, right? That'd be a little bit of a trend. Volatility creep higher. And then the last 4 days, so from pretty much Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, straight up. But really from here, this was a huge volume day in the SPY, 158.9 million. Up to this point, pretty predictable, easy to play, no surprises, lots of surprises in here. VIX jumped all the way up to right here, 30, 28.99 actually. But to move here from 16, and even before we were around the 15s, and even here we were touching the 14s, 1430s, we almost exactly doubled the VIX in less than 30 days. That's a big change. And you can even see now, I know Oracle's a 2.5 wide, but remember, Oracle expires. Oracle does have $11 ADR more recently. But Oracle has a 272 strike closing on Friday, and we're at 44 cents, we're at 48. And we're up from the entry point, probably $4. So it's not bad, but normally speaking, that should be probably another 20% lower. It should be around the mid-30s now. All right, market's pulling back in. That's a good thing. Remember, we have a bearish retracement into VWAP, little failure breakout, 5-minute chart closing below VWAP every time. Now you're sandwiched on a 5-minute chart between VWAP and the 9. The 9 is tepid on the move. So if we start breaking, remember the concept, close once, close twice. How many times have we closed below? And I'm just looking at the SPY for a minute now. Here we closed once, we didn't close twice in a row. So what you're looking for is that, and I'm not talking about like right there, sizable close, the second close, then the breakdown happens after it clears one of the 2 lowest bars. We didn't have it. We may get it here a little bit here, but right in here, it has to be 2 bars together. And it's pretty predictable. That is one of our better indicators to give us a short-term market direction. So it's 10:41. GLW. Around break even. W pulling in a little, was not really, we just have to get out of that one. It's not gonna go anywhere, I don't think. I mean, it could, but UNH, that's one we're not in, but nobody done well. UPS. It's just sideways, so it's not gonna help us at all. Better than it was. And PayPal. What a swing on PayPal. Look at the volume on PayPal, 43 million shares. Now PayPal's thing up a lot is because it's starting to tie itself into AI. So, I don't know how the earnings were, but AI is starting to get on that page a little bit. Earnings have been subpar on PayPal for a long time. There's pretty good in here, I guess, down, but it recouped. But 1, 2, 3. The last 3 earnings, so this year, have been terrible for PayPal. You see, we're back up to the weekly chart. That's 79.50. We're pretty much there now. Got room to 100. PayPal's coming down from a $300 stock. A lot of things are, though. Check Visa. Up here, MasterCard. Here, American Express. Straight up. All right, this bearish retracement's giving way a little bit. It's a good thing. So 689, so we only have to go to 687.48, right? And you're basically digging into 687 right now, right? From a low perspective, low side. So we're starting to get into 687. So we're only 50 cents away from close to break even. So this bearish retracement could very easily become a measured move. And I think prices could come back down into the 686s today. Maybe lower, the measured move's lower, but let's say 686. Everything worked out, that's about where prices can go on here. Can you take the distance from here to here? The bear retracement, and you take that same distance from here to here, puts you even lower. I don't think I get that far, but could. We will see though. UPS creeping down. I'm watching it reflect into the options prices in here. So it'll creep down here. It's got anchor below it. Anchor's around 94, about $1 away. That should probably get us down profitable in UPS. Remember, UPS was $111 in pre-market, opened up here, went higher to the 200 on the daily, but it was 110. It was right here in pre-market. Look at these moves. Oracle pulling back with the market, helping our spread back to break even. GLW Corning is trying to, it's stuck between well, it's stuck below both these areas, I guess. UPS could lose it here. Again, just keep the testing of these earnings, just keep everything minimized down to single contracts for a while. Or just, I mean, the 8 we talked about, but look at the hourly. Just has a problem getting through the area. It tries and it still may. Look at the 50 coming in right to that area, holding things down. Another big energy. Let's see UPS get a little bit green there. Very sloppy, guys, in everything. Most of these stocks are sloppy. Oracle up, Oracle down. INTC did move forward. You know, it's getting a little bit challenged now. It's a nice move earlier. I don't really understand anything here in any direction.
I mean, A&D gave up its move.
$265 back to 260. Look how that got to the 9 on the 5, right through VWAP, right to gap fill.
Yep.
Lost everything, didn't it? Well, why set up that going? You just can't, you have to take your profits along the way. Maybe that's just kind of taking a little piece or something, but to think that you're gonna be the person that's gonna find that move is probably asking a lot. Somebody's gonna be right. But
I'm back.
all right,
You know what? When I got out inadvertently and lost $1, it might have been a blessing in disguise or a curse in disguise because I got back in the thing at $1.40.
there you go. Lost $1, picked up a dime.
Yeah, bounce back, maybe. We'll see.
Well, it was right here, it continued higher. So here we go, then it pulled back, and then it started to go, a little bearish retreat, then it went back higher. Once again, to go back to the SPY, take a look at the 9 EMA on the 5. Gets below the 9 EMA, it doesn't close below there. Sandwich though between these two, right? It's gonna be almost a divergence coming in here. Something's gonna give. So it's trying to stay bullish on the low level, but it's still bearish retracement. This area right here was at 686.38. Where do we go to? 686.80.37. So within a penny. Let's see how it handles. Every time it's been closing down below VWAP here. So let's see if it does the same. We kind of want it to. We have to kind of wore out here and just start to make that move lower, and people will start jumping off like the Titanic again. Corning finally showing some green. Let me see if I have that in the right spot. Guys, hold on. It doesn't seem like it's trading right. I'm just using an AI thing on this. Off day here.
You know, if SPY gets down to anchored VWAP, we might be in pretty good shape.
That's about where the measure move is to do it. There's Corning. And it's showing a 4%.
Yeah, that is about the measured move. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I had this 4%. Maybe I took it off the account. Let's see. Where did we close at yesterday? Closed at around, let's call it 89.50. 89.50 times 4% minus 85. Oh, okay. That's why. I had my thing in the wrong spot here, guys. It'd be 85.92. That makes sense. I don't know how I got this, but that would have been around a 10% move. It's only 4%. So that makes sense. That's why I thought that was off a little bit. You can see that gap exceeded. Look at PayPal. That gap exceeded. UPS, that gap exceeded. Pulled back, but it exceeded. Excuse me. UNH, this gap did not exceed, but we're in it. There's the GLW again. So again, take a look at this. You do this on Grok or just ChatGPT. This is a lot of information, but you can just see what I'm saying here. I typed it differently, so I got a different here. 20 to 30% for a higher than expected, that exceed the expected move. So 70 to 80% of the time. Now, how about by 9:45 a.m.? The large majority of adjustments happen within 25 to 40 minutes. The post-announcement trading open. Anyway, it doesn't really give you anything, but it's 70-80% of the time. And that's what we're playing off of. Okay, it's 10:56. Down the list again. PayPal, it may roll. UPS, got a chance. W, holding nice. UNH, we'll need to look at that. GLW, excuse me, holding VWAP here. Let's see. Hold on. I think the one we have a chance on might be GLW here. I don't really know. It's stronger. W doesn't like it's coming back in here. I'll probably get rid of the darn thing. The other ones are just pennies, but except for UPS, that's up a higher. I'd like to see that thing fall. Oh, excuse me. So W is worse than 945. GLW is a little bit worse. It's profitable, but worse. UPS 73, 63, 53 is a little bit better. PayPal 7 is a little bit worse. Yeah, because PayPal gapped down and bullied. Or gapped up, open here, went lower than bullied. It's a crapshoot. Let's see here what I want to do. G and W. I'm not going to be able to get this thing down on a tracking because they're all over the place. Close to break even on 3 of them here. PayPal. This has a chance to roll here. GLW is climbing a little bit. Holding VWAP above VWAP, so we'll go with that. W, I don't think we have a chance. The rest are right in there. UPS, available. We'll have to see. If the market does pull down, maybe it'll pull some of these with it. So that theory of me tracking these at different times, I don't think is going to work out. We're just going to have to probably just do the 945 take just to be done. I really just want to be done with them. But I might add, this earnings season has been wild. I mean, we just started, and these stocks were just ranking, positively or negatively, but the ranges are just intense. $11 range, that's a 15% move. W, look at this, 20% move, 21% move in W. A little higher at the high. Man. Someone tell me to sell this theme up here for $600 and buy it back in a dime from now. All right, here is the time. Let's see, minute 180, 175 showing on W. You're going to get out there. 160 maybe? I don't think so. I haven't saw it there. Oh, where do you filled at? Oh. Where did I get filled at? Oh, 133. I'll let these other ones go a little bit. UPS is going to get worse going higher. Yeah, I think the way to do these is take them up to 945. That's what I'll do tomorrow. I don't want to really just mess with them because unless we're guessing at these. I'll let these others sit for a bit, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just not gonna mess around with them. Take them, still do your one contract. Don't go heavy in these. Again, we proved the test out. It's one thing to back test and theorize, and another thing to do it. Spreads are weird. So 945, I think we just take our high and go. Some of these things increase greatly. But at the same time, I'm seeing here just in today, some went down quite a bit. So it's just speculative. Almost like trying to bank on the XP coming in a lot. You're not gonna ever figure that out. Anyway, any questions, guys, before we roll out here? Kind of a nothing morning, nothing to do. Everything's all over the place. Market gap was intense. Huge reversion back. Got an XSP here. Market just kind of sitting in here, as you might expect with 16 VIX, a little over 16. Holding comfortably in a bearish retracement here, but holding the 9 EMA on the 5. Very narrow ranges in here. Below the VWAP, which is a good sign. I think this market has a better chance of rolling over than I think it is going back higher. But we've seen it just going crazy higher, so that's not out of the question. And that's what we want. We want this market to pull in here. That will also take most of our capture to the long side. That won't help the GLW, but it would help UPS, it would help our PayPal, and would help our of course, our XSP, if we can get this market to roll south here. Not that we have a choice, but we can monitor it. Any questions before we roll out here, guys? Remember, we have a mentorship call today. I'll be here. We'll be going through a couple different studies. And at 2:30. And yeah. All right, guys. See you a little bit later. Be careful. It's not a good trading time right now, day. Really weak, but careful. Take short style scalps, get in, get out. I think you're gonna be happier. All right, guys. I'll see you at 2:30.
Yep. Thanks, Jeff.